All right. So goal barrier visual framework comes handy when we want to map out our goals and the challenges or the barriers that we find to achieve those goals. Um, and it happens almost all the time for all of us, that whenever we think of a goal, just like the physical health that we are talking about, we might have goal to lose weight or to gain stamina, to build muscles. And to achieve that, we will have lots of obstacles or barriers to achieve that. So this visual framework or pattern will actually allow us to visually show what that goal is, what the barriers are, and to think about how we can overcome those barriers. So the visual pattern goes like this. We start with uh, a ground, and then we draw ourselves, right? So this is me, and not necessarily you have to draw in this fashion. You can also draw a stick figure, totally up to you. And I'll draw a bow like that and an arrow. Right? So this is me. I want to take an action. And on the other side, there is a goal, which is a dartboard, or it can be something else. But for this visual framework, we are using this as a metaphor for goal, right? This also comes up as emoji when we type target or goal in chat. Okay, so this is pretty much clear that this is me and this is the goal that I want to achieve. But the visual framework is about barrier also. So what I'll do is I'll sketch walls in between myself and the goal, and maybe top 3 or 4 walls, which are nothing but my barriers, which is that to reach this, I'll have to break down these walls so that I get a clear view and clear picture of my goal and then achieve it. I can shoot my arrow and it goes and hits over there. Otherwise, they are all lying down over here. It won't go past these walls. So these are smaller goals or smaller challenges that I'll have to shoot down to achieve my larger goal. So when you can use this, you can use this when you want to tackle that sense of that it's too hard to reach the goal and you want to break your challenges down into manageable chunks. So take for example losing weight. Losing weight means that the first challenge or the first thing that I might want to do is exercise or go out on a walk or cut down on my processed food or junk food intake. So junk food or processed food intake or going on exercise or not having time for exercise becomes my barriers or challenges. This can also be used at a team level to articulate and quantify any barriers to achieving something that it needs to do. So for team, it can be multiple people with their own set of arrows and bow, right? So we can call this as these are our tools, right? And different types of arrows, we can call it as ways to break barriers. And these are our barriers. Right. So now these are bigger blocks, but then each barrier or each wall is not standing on its own. It is made up by bricks. So we might build a wall which is having subsections some might have more, some might have less. So depending on how much you can break down that particular barrier, you create those many sections and write it down over there. Now the idea is that when you have done this exercise, you can clearly see that there are three major blocks or major challenges in achieving the goal. And for each challenge, there are sub challenges which are broken down into small pieces. And I have to just uh, reduce the size of the wall. So let's say earlier the size of the wall was this much, but after breaking down, the wall becomes this much, right? And even with this, I'm able to see my goal and I'm able to shoot, right? So what this visual framework also shows is that it is not compulsory that we break down the entire wall itself. We just have to break those bricks which are very crucial or which are really bottled in uh, bottleneck to achieve our goals, right? So our walls, the barriers or the challenges can still be there, but we have taken care of the hurdles or the most important challenges or sub challenges within each one of them. When we put it in this way, we are able to see things very clearly. Now, I did mention that I wanted to talk about the sketch note and the article that Jatin wrote on self mastery. And this is what I sketched on the similar lines. Right, okay, I'll put it like this. So this is the goal of self mastery that I want to have. And so in that sketch note, the author and Jatin also talks about is that there are 5 hindrances to achieve self mastery, and those hindrances are sensual desires, to wanting to satisfy our desires to, let's say, eat something or see something, then ill will or negative emotions, and then sloth, which is like laziness or sleep, or not wanting to do something just out of indulgence, restlessness, which is thinking about overthinking about past or thinking about future and being worried about future, and then skeptical mind, which is self-doubt or doubting our confidence or doubting our skills, doubting ourselves itself, right? So these are 5 hindrances that I've drawn as the barriers to achieve the goal of self-mastery. Now we can very well replace this thing with saying that, okay, for self, what is my self mastery or what is my goal that I want to achieve? So let's say losing weight. What are the sensual desires which are coming on the way to losing the weight? I can break it down and write it over here. Is there any negative emotions that is associated with food or exercise or something that I want to do to lose weight? Maybe I'll write it down. Sloth, is it sleep, lack of sleep, or more sleep? Laziness that is coming on the way, I'll write it down over there. And that also I can break it down into like afternoon sleep or nap or no sleep at night and things like that. Am I worried too much about my past experiences? In past, I may have experienced that while working out, I broke my ankle or no, whatever. There can be some injury, and because of that, it is not letting me do it again. Or it is about the future, that is, I may not be able to achieve that in the given time. And then skeptical mind, am I good enough to kind of do that? Is it about expectations of looking good, or is it about expectation of feeling good, right? So all those things we can actually break it down as per these categories. And no, thank you, Jatin, for this comes really on the right time, as I was as a part of daily and monthly journaling, as I was reflecting on it, and I came up with this visual framework, and then I saw your sketch note, and I can quickly say that no, this becomes like a really good way of putting it out over there, rather than just putting it as a habit tracker, which is like a table kind of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks for developing this, Kumar. It's really nice to see two ideas merge together and create something. I mean, it's not radically new, but it is definitely good to see two concepts uh, merging or blending into each other.
yeah. Cool. And like this is not the only visual framework. We can actually think of other frameworks also. One of the frameworks that I talked earlier was I think about a cliff or a valley, and we are here, and we want to. This is the place where we want to go to, and then there are problems, crocodiles in the river, and no, there is a boat, and then there is a bridge that is broken. We can also think about something like this, or no, we have played snakes and ladder, right? So we kind of create a block saying that what is the path that we have to take to reach our goal, what are the ladders in between, and what are the snakes that can bring us down, right? It actually helps us to plan and think ahead well. And when we are able to do this, our mind is equipped with good amount of information that it can take decision on. And one thing that I've learned in decision making is no decision is wrong decision taken at that point of time, because it is dependent on the information that you have at that point of time. So you gather all the information, take the decision, right, and then move ahead, and then leave everything else to know the higher power or universe, right? The decision only becomes bad when we get outcome. When the outcome is bad, we say that the decision is bad. When the outcome is good, even if the decision was thought to be bad, we will always say that that was a good decision, right? So it is the outcome or output of the decision that that makes it good or bad, not the actual decision.